My name's Harry Sheldon. I was fortunate enough to be one of the 2,100 cyclists on the very first Great Victorian Bike Ride. The weather was warm most days. The people were quite keen and jovial. It was meant to be a one-off event as part of the Victoria's 150th celebrations. I think the difference between the rides now and then are the things that were missing then. For example, there was no infrastructure, there was no showers, for example. They had to be built specifically for the ride. We didn't have any wash-up facilities. We just had several tubs of hot soapy water, which was fine if you were the first half a dozen in there. After that, it might be easier if you just cleaned the plate by licking it. I've been talking to a few mates about buying a bike after several years of not riding, and as a joke, one of my workmates handed me an entry form to the Great Vic Bike Ride, and I thought, the more I thought about it, the more I thought, why not, and give it a go. It started in Wodonga and it finished in Melbourne, and on the first ride the food was actually provided by the locals in the towns that we stayed at. So that made the ride different to the current way we run it today. There were no mobile phones in those days, so the only way information could be transferred up and down the route was through the Wireless Institute Civil Emergency Network. And they would set up about every 15 or so kilometres, and you could easily spot them with these great big antennas. It was nearly rained nearly every day on that particular event, and everybody was indoors, and that's where they decided to put on an impromptu talent quest, which has become a feature of the ride. Here I have the original entry form, and the interesting thing about it on the inside is that the entry fee is $75. That didn't include food, by the way. That was, as I said earlier, provided by the locals, so you had to pay extra for that. What you did get for the ride was a water bottle, like that. The ride guide, which is rather primitive compared to today's ones, but nevertheless that was the type that they had in those days. We had caps, well worn, seen better days, and we also had the cloth badges, which were very popular at the time, and they were quite in demand actually. And because it was only meant to be a one-off event, they sold off all the equipment, including this sign, which was $15 in those days, and I actually had to beat somebody over the head just about to get it. We had to fight for it, so there wasn't that many. T-shirts we got that year were mostly too small for everybody, so people rarely wore them after the event. Most notably, people would say good morning as they went past rather than passing. So it was very easy to talk to people, and always has been on the ride. As a result of that, I met a few people, and then the following year or two I met their friends who also came on the ride, and I've met friends of friends, and most of the people I know now are a direct consequence of the Great Victorian Bike Ride, which is probably why I've been on all of them since.